Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a completely original video idea, never done before, an Elden Ring boss ranking video. I'll be ranking all 15 Remembrance bosses in the base game from worst to best. I'll be judging them on music, design, their arena, and of course, the boss fight itself. Oh, and here's your preliminary warning. There are opinions in this video, I do have some, and some of them are pretty not popular, so... Anyway, let's get on with the ranking, starting with last place. Number 15, the Regal Ancestor Spirit. To be honest, I hate the Ancestor Spirit's fight far less than many of the other bosses on this list, but it is still my least favorite boss, simply out of principle. First and foremost, there's two of them, and while it certainly isn't the only Remembrance boss that can say this, the Ancestor Spirit's duplicate is the only one you're supposed to fight before the Remembrance one. The only thing they even bothered to change about this one is naming it after a movie theater and giving it the ability to heal. A boss gimmick that can be good, but certainly is not here. The worst thing about this boss, however, is the money. It gives you a meager 24,000 runes, 50,000 less than Radon, who you literally have to kill to get here. At least you'll always be using their Remembrance and getting an extra 30,000, as both of the rewards are very bad and very, very boring. Overall, I like its design. Its boss room is pretty nice, it's nice and big, and the music is very pretty, but they should have just made Soldier of Godric a Remembrance instead. Number 14, the Fire Giant. I used to say the Fire Giant was an overhated boss, but during the run I had to make for this video, I finally understood why people hate him so much. To everyone I said he wasn't that bad to, please forgive me, for I had not experienced the true Fire Giant. This boss is so insanely annoying without a status weapon, it's not even funny. His first phase isn't that bad, the little fireballs are pretty tedious to work around and he rolls around way too much, but the second phase is so much worse. It's near impossible to tell what he's doing when you're attacking him, causing you to have to trade damage for most of the fight, and that's assuming you can even hit him. His wrists, the quote-unquote weak point, barely ever touch the ground long enough for you to attack them, forcing you to attack his legs, which, for some stupid reason, you can't lock onto. And the rolling I mentioned in Phase 1, it is 10 times worse here, as if you guess wrong on the direction he rolls, there goes half your health. His fire attacks are incredibly stupid, multiple of them feeling undodgeable most of the time, and just like the Ancestor Spirit, his rewards suck. The only things this guy has going for him are a cool design and a very cool cutscene, but that will never make up for the dumpster fire that is this dog shit fight. Number 13, Estelle. If this were a tier list, we'd be rising from F tier to C tier, because Estelle is a much better boss than the last two. Granted, he's still not great. His design and boss room are both beautiful, though his music is a little boring. Honestly, that's probably my biggest problem with this fight. It's just boring. Most of his attacks are very easy to dodge, though the few that aren't are very difficult to dodge, so most of the time, I just heal through them. He has a lot of poise, but doesn't really move around that much aside from the teleporting, which makes fighting him a lot like hitting a punching bag. For his size, the camera isn't nearly as much of a problem as it usually is, which is pretty nice, I guess. I don't know. There just isn't much to say about this guy. Estelle is just okay. A sort of lackluster but inoffensive end to Ronnie's questline, in my opinion. He would at least be unique if it weren't for his copy in the snowfields. Number 12, Fortisax. I had never fought Fortisax before this run, and honestly, I really wasn't missing out on much. He is literally just a reskinned ancient dragon, though he looks way cooler. Seriously, if I had to give this boss any props at all, both him and his boss room look really cool. I was super overleveled for this fight, so I found it very easy, but I don't think it'd be that hard not overleveled either. Deathblight is a dumb mechanic, and this guy has it, but I didn't find it to be all that impactful, and he also just has no HP. As with all dragons, especially the ancient ones, the camera is probably the hardest part of this fight, and sometimes it can be hard to tell what he's doing. The ground in his arena is also covered in water, making his lightning attacks spread more and making them do more damage, but again, I didn't find it all that difficult to avoid these. I hate most of the dragon fights in this game, but Fortisax turned out to be a pretty nice one. Still not nearly interesting enough to put him any higher on the list, though. Number 11, Renala. Renala is our first shard bearer, and she certainly stands out as the worst. Her first phase is more like beating a dead horse than fighting a boss. There's even little flies around the arena that you have to swap before killing her. I really like the music in this first phase, though. As for her second phase, it seems a little more interesting at first, but really it's just more horse beating. I think the intention of FromSoft was for her fight to consist of dodging her magic as you slowly close ground, hitting her a few times, then having her back up and do it all over again. If Renala actually worked like this, I think she would be a much more captivating boss. However, trying to fight her like this is very, very annoying, as she constantly backs up and you will get very little time to actually hit her. This is especially difficult in Phase 2.5 when she starts spawning spirit summons. The summons themselves aren't too hard to dodge, but buy her just enough time that you can hardly hit her once before she runs away. The only real effective tactic is to just run at her and DPS her down, ignoring the less damaging spells and killing her before you run out of flasks. Very boring. Another weird thing about Renala I don't hear many people talking about is the leveling of her rewards. 60 in for the staff and 70 for the spell. You literally find her in Liurnia, the second area of the game. She definitely, along with the Red Wolf, cements the boss fights as the weakest part of Raya Lucaria. Cool cutscenes though. Number 10. Number 10, Malekith. That's right, sound the infinite alarms, cause me, the Noctis, just put Malekith below Placidusax and fucking Rykard. Okay. More specifically, I think they are leagues better than the Beast Clergyman. In fact, I think most of the Remembrances are better than the Beast Clergyman. In fact, if you split Malekith into his two phases, I would put Beast Clergyman at 14. Yes, I hate him more than the Fire Giant. At Malekith at like 6 or something. That's why I've decided to meet in the middle here at 10. I see a lot of people say, oh, if you just ignore the first phase, Malekith is actually a really good fight. And like, yeah, Malekith is a really good fight. I'm terrible at him, and despite killing him 3 times now, I still don't know half his attacks, but even I can't deny it's a well-designed fight. Still though, you can't just ignore that half his health bar is dedicated to this goddamn street dog who keeps throwing pocket vent at me. Look at this shit, that is half my health bar. Half! And that's with the Black Flame Protection spell, by the way. Fuck this stupid ass mutt. Cutscene's pretty cool though. Number 9, Rykard. Rykard is Elden Ring's Storm King, and same as all the other bosses with this gimmick, the best part is the visuals. Rykard looks really friggin' cool. From the little snake head popping out at the start of the fight, to the cutscene that's so friggin' cool it lags my computer, and of course his super awesome sword attack. His design is perfectly creepy. I especially like the little snake tongues and arms that protrude from his body. I also didn't realize until I fought him this time that Rykard's music is really good, definitely among the best of the Remembrances. The fight itself, I'll admit, isn't terrible, but it's not very fun. Many attacks, like the aforementioned cool fire sword and earthquake attacks, are just about impossible to dodge. And that's assuming you can even dodge, as a Serpent Hunter has very long windups that give Rykard plenty of time to hit you. I think as I learned the Beast Clergyman and Malekith more, I could see the gameplay of that fight outranking the novelty of Rykard's. But for now, he's just a bit better. Number 8, Radahn. I'm not gonna lie, my feelings for Radahn aren't really all that strong, but it's simply hard to deny how great a role he plays in the game. You can just feel his presence throughout the early game, like in the opening cutscene and the Sword Memorial and the entirety of Caelid. His fight's pretty cool too. While I tend to not use the summons anymore, I think they're a neat gimmick. I really appreciate how his attacks are designed for both fighting with and without them. His design is pretty cool. I'm an especial fan of Leonard, and I really like how he roars during the fight. It's pretty menacing. I have always, and continue, to think he does a little bit too much damage for where he is in the game, especially with how many of his attacks hit you with both swords. I think his music is a bit overrated, but it's pretty nice. Overall, Radahn is pretty freaking cool, man. Oh, and 100% did win against Melania, by the way. That shit was not a draw. Number 7, Placidusax. Placidusax is the other boss I'd never beaten before this run, and unlike Fortisax, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, seriously, I love this guy, man. His music is very cool, his design is very cool, his attacks are very cool, and his arena is super cool. He's by far the most enjoyable of the dragon fights for me, in many ways even surpassing Baal. I especially like his fire attack, which for most dragons is just about impossible to predict and very annoying. But with Placidusax, you can see his little head peeking around his body, giving you plenty of time to back up. My only real complaints with Placidusax are his health, which can make the fight last a little longer than I think it should, and the seemingly inconsistent hitboxes of his attacks. I think it's mostly due to his massive size paired with many attacks that start in the sky, causing the direction and timing of your dodges to have to change ever so slightly on occasion, which can be a little bit annoying. Overall though, a very pleasant surprise. Mid cutscene though. Number 6, Godfrey. Godfrey is one of the few bosses in this game I can actually call bullshitless, which automatically earns him a very high spot. All of his moves are very well telegraphed and have good hitboxes, making this fight very, very satisfying. He's actually one of the only bosses in this game I almost beat on my first try during my first playthrough, just due to how fair his fight is. I would almost argue that he's too easy, but his second phase has a nice difficulty jump that prevents this. Speaking of phase 2, Godfrey has some really nice cutscenes. There is this thing I found a little bit awkward with this phase transition though. Here, just take a listen.
Now I fight as Horaloo. Warrior!
Like, warrior? That's it? Just warrior. Not even like Badlands warrior or something? I think you could take a random demi-human off the street and he'd probably qualify as a warrior. I know I'm literally like the only person who cares about this at all, but I just can't take him seriously, guys. This old-ass man covered in blood calling himself a warrior. It's like something out of a Moist Critical Police body cam reaction. I don't know. I just think it's really silly. Nice fight, though. Number 5, Morgott. I do not like Morgott's fight. Just like Margit, who I genuinely find to be one of the hardest bosses in the game, he has loads of super long attack chains and split-second pocket attacks to make it very hard to know when it's safe to engage. I couldn't really care less about that though, because he's so freaking cool it completely makes up for it. I adore Morgott's voice and lore and design and aura and cutscene, especially that cutscene. Easily my favorite in the game. I love his sword and its reveal. I love how when he enters phase 2 it starts raining and becomes all dark and cool and stuff. I love how he absolutely hates the player, so much so that he transcended Elden Ring and went into Night Rain just to hunt you down again. I just love him, okay? I love him. And while I don't like his fight very much, his second phase is much, much better, and I do quite enjoy fighting him then. Overall, Morgott is cool as hell. Oh, and by the way, absolutely solos Radahn. Number 4, Radabeast. While many people separate them, I've decided to put the Elden Beast and Radagon together here, as I actually like both of them quite a lot. And 15 bosses is already plenty to rank. First though, let's talk about Radagon. Radagon is by far the best designed boss in this game, with fast, successive attacks that are satisfying to dodge and have good counterplay. He has little to no bullshit, and a good, but I'll admit not great, design. His lore's great, his cutscene's pretty good, and his music is outstanding. Radagon would probably be my second, or perhaps even my first favorite boss, had we separated him and the Elden Beast. Despite this, I do still like the Elden Beast fight, and I've never really gotten all the hate for it. It's very, very cinematic. The Beast's design and boss humor are both beautiful, a lot of its attacks are gorgeous, and I've never felt he ran away too much, unlike many other people. Don't get me wrong, it's not great, the camera is still annoying and Elden Stars is dumb, and it's not nearly as satisfying as Radagon is, but I do feel the Elden Beast is an overhated boss, and I think it doesn't bring down Radagon nearly as much as many people think. Both of them, I believe, make a worthwhile ending to Elden Ring. Number 3, Godric the Grafted. If it weren't for the undeniable better gameplay of the next 2 fights, I assure you all Godric would 100% be my number 1 boss. I just love him so much. His design and personality are absolutely amazing. He's one of the only bosses that actually talks during the fight, and I love it. His phase transition is so freaking cool. I actually think it's a contender for the coolest thing ever. I mean, he literally gets a dragon for an arm. What could be cooler than that? His music is great too. There's a reason I chose to do it for my first ever Noctis boss music timed up with boss attack special. You should go watch that video, by the way, please. I also think he serves as a way better introductory boss than Margit, but that's mostly just because I hate Margit. His lore is super cool, his build-up's super cool. I love how everyone in Limgrave hates his guts. I love how he lost to both Melania and Radahn, but still thinks he's that guy. I just love him. I love him so much. During my first playthrough, I remember the amazing feeling of slowly learning all of his attacks and getting better and better until I finally beat him. A feeling that very few bosses have been able to replicate. Godric has some problems. His wind attack can be a little finicky and he's sort of boringly easy after a while, but honestly, I just don't care. Similar with Morgott, I just adore Godric so much I can ignore most of his faults. Still though, it's impossible to deny the top 2 their rightfully earned spots. Number 2, the Lord of Blood. Mohg is one of only 2 bosses that continues to give me that feeling I talked about with Godric. He has that perfect level of difficulty where, no matter how many times I've beaten him, it still feels like an accomplishment to defeat him. His attack patterns are punishing but easy to learn and incredibly satisfying, giving guaranteed and adequate time to counterattack. His lore is great, and I'm really glad he got his redemption in the DLC. I mean, he legitimately kidnapped Mikola and was kissing his dead, shriveled up hand. Not a great look, Moog. But he was brainwashed, so it's all good. I know a lot of people don't like how he pisses blood all over the floor, and to be honest, I find it annoying as well, but with every time I fight him, this becomes less and less of a problem. I just love this guy, man. His little face is great, his fit is great, his voice is a little bit weird, but that's okay. He's twins with Morgoth, and I love that guy too. There's just so much to love about this guy. Nonetheless, he is still outshined by one person, and I'm sure she's who most of you expected. Melania is number 1. Yeah, she's pretty good. Really hard, like super hard. I would say second only to PCR, and honestly, it's pretty close. Of course, this isn't a ranking about difficulty, so what makes Melania such a great boss? I don't really know. Her music is nice, her design's pretty cool, nice cutscenes. She sort of just is the best. I can name a thing I really don't like about her, like how her terrible AI combined with waterfowl forces you to bait her back and forth like you're turtlenecking a shit until she finally pops it only to kill you anyway because waterfowl is stupid. But like, who cares about that? She's the boss. She's the Blade of Mikola, and she's the Goddess of Rot. She gives by far the strongest feeling of satisfying accomplishment and continues to do so even after beating her multiple times. Unlike Moog or Radagon, Melania does make me angry, but that anger always goes away the second she's defeated. Perhaps the presence of that anger means I shouldn't have her in first place, but then again, like, come on. It's Melania. She has to be in first, at least until I add the DLC bosses to this ranking. She truly is a fight to be remembered. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my Elden Ring ranking video. I know I said that in my last video, I said that the next video would be coming very, very soon, and it's been 3 weeks, but you know, I thought it was going to come out soon, but it turns out voiceover is really, really hard. And this took a long time to make, but I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. Worth the wait, I mean. And unfortunately, in this outro, I have some unfortunate news for some of you. These outros, I'm going to be doing less of them now. And that also means I'm not going to have a bonus clip in every single video. I know. Okay. Whoa, relax, dude. Jeez. I have some good rationale for this, okay? These outros, you know, when I first started making my videos and they were all like 3 hours long, having a little 2-minute outro at the end didn't really tack on anything. But as I expand to shorter videos and other types of videos, adding a 2-minute outro is just a little bit weird, and I don't think it's very necessary. And furthermore, with the bonus clip, they're hard to do. Again, when I first started making these, I had a bunch of bonus clips already, but now I'm having to go out and hit more. Like, I start recording the outro, I'm like, shit, okay, I have to hit a bonus clip, and then I have to go hit a bonus clip, and that results in bad clips, and sometimes even the video getting delayed just so that I can hit one. And I don't want that happening. So, less outros and less bonus clips. But what will never be leaving is my thanks to you guys for watching this video. So, as always, thank you for watching.